Hello, everybody. My name is Justin, and I am the face of Real Men Budget. I am sorry that I've been out of the limelight, not making content um, a lot over the last couple months. A lot of bad things have been going on in my life, and so um, it's been a struggle just to live life. Um, Not to mention putting things out there publicly. So I thank each and every one of you that have stuck by my channel. Yes, there have been a lot of people who have left, but there have also been a lot of new people that have joined. So thank you to those who have stuck around. Thank you to those who have joined in my absence. Um, I am nowhere near ready to start making full-time content. Um, outside of some of the things that I'm not ready to talk about on here. A couple weeks ago, actually 2.5 weeks ago, I lost I lost my dog. And so um I've got a lot of things to work through before I feel comfortable making budget content, but that I just know that I'm not going anywhere. I will be back. I don't know when, um, but I will be back. I wanted to make this video um, because there has been a YNAB Tag trend going on, and because I didn't know how long it was going to be before I started making content again, um, I wanted to make this video because I was tagged quite a few times by channels that I follow, and I am forever grateful for being the channel that they turn to when they want to tag, because there are dozens of channels out there that do content with YNAB, and so I'm honored, even with my absence, to be the channel that you want to see these answers from. And so thank you, Kyle from I Suck at Budgeting, Tina Williams from Tina Williams RDH, and Kaylee and Shay from Just Finance. Those are the channels that have tagged me. So if you haven't checked out their channels, go ahead and stop by. I've followed those channels for a long time. Two of those were my very first channels that I ever followed. And so, um, like I said, I'm forever grateful for all of the YNAB content creators, um, for giving me information before I started my YNAB journey and showing me how easy this budgeting software can be, even for somebody who has never used something quite like it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and um, get into these questions. So, question one is, how did you discover YNAB? My YNAB journey started in November of 2024. Prior to that, and actually I should clarify, full-time YNAB use was December of 2024. I believe I signed up for YNAB the middle to late November of 2024. That is also when I started this channel and started making content and publishing videos of my budget journey. Those who have been with my channel since the beginning will know that I haven't always been with YNAB. I actually started my budget journey, uh, 15 years ago with Excel. Or actually, even before Excel, I was with Mint. Back when Mint was really, really popular, in my opinion, really, really good in terms of budget. That was my first experience with connecting a software to my bank accounts, and kind of letting that automation help me through my budget process. But in between Mint and Monarch, which is what I used before YNAB, I was a spreadsheet kind of person. I loved the customization that you could do with Excel because you build a template that's specific to your needs. And outside of the sweat equity that it takes to get the template just the way you like it, um, Excel can be a very great tool for those who are not ready to make the leap into a software and have a subscription service. Um, so, I mean, there are things that I use Excel with in my budget even to this day. But yeah, I mean, Excel was my longest tenured budget software or system. Prior to YNAB, I used Monarch Money for, I want to say, a year and a half. It was um, it was a great software. It served a specific purpose in my budget journey, and once that, you know, purpose no longer suited my needs, that is when I ventured out and searched for something different. YNAB happened to fit the bill because it was um, software similar to Monarch, where it imports all your stuff. You have categories and you kind of move your money around. What sold me, um, and I guess this is getting into number two. So I guess let me finish number one. How I discovered YNAB was through Google searching and YNAB searches on YouTube. I Before I ever started this channel and before I ever subscribed to many of the channels that I've been subscribed to for a long time, I used my personal channel to watch a lot of their content to kind of get familiar with YNAB and how to use it. And then I ultimately, getting into question number two, what made you actually sign up and commit? I needed something that was more down to the penny, but not as cumbersome and work needed as Excel. So YNAB fit the bill. It was an automated software. I was used to using that. And then also it allowed down to the penny transactions, down to the penny categories, down to the penny everything, which for somebody like me who is very detail oriented, I appreciated very, very much. So I used Monarch and YNAB together for, I want to say, a month and a half, almost 2 months before I got to the point to where I was not able to keep up with both of them at the same time. And eventually quit Monarch and went full-time YNAB, I believe, in December of 2025, December 2024, January of 2025. So I've been full-time with YNAB for about a year and a half, and the ease of using it, my learning curve was very short, not steep at all. And the fact that there was a large community on social media for YNAB, not just the company itself, but people like me and you out here consuming and creating YNAB content really solidified my desire to be a part of this community. Number 3, how long have you been using YNAB? Like I said, YNAB has been on my radar since early November. I've been using it since late November. And again, solely since December 2024, January 2025. Number 4, how has YNAB changed your relationship with money? It's been nothing but a positive experience for me. Like I said, my learning curve was, very short. And so that really helped change my relationship with money, to see how easy it can be managing it. Also, I liked the fact that it was down to the penny. And so I was able to get super detailed and have a extremely clear understanding of my finances, my situation. And the biggest thing that changed my relationship with money was how easy it was to get a month ahead. So I will leave that month ahead discussion a little bit later. There's a question about it. So yeah, I mean, YNAB, the community is great. Like I said, there's a lot of us out here making content, showing different perspectives. And so what I show in my videos may not work for you, but I guarantee you there is somebody else out there that has a channel that may budget a certain way that makes sense to you, may say things a certain way that just clicks. So yeah, that's definitely how my relationship with money has changed since joining YNAB. Number 5, how many categories do you have altogether? So in total, I have 66 categories. I've got 56 main categories, many of which I use on a regular basis. I would say probably somewhere under a quarter of those I use occasionally, but more frequently than others. I also have 5 wish farm items. I won't go into what those are now because there is a question about them. But I do have 5 wish farm items. And then I also have 5 holding funds, which are categories that I use to just hold money that I'm not quite ready to commit to assigning to something more specific. So I have a holding funds group and subcategories for that. So again, a total of 66 categories that I utilize. Number 6, which category gets the most spending each month? Just like Kaylee said in her video, rent for probably the majority of people is going to be the highest expense. So throwing that out, certainly the last 6 months or so has been my dog expenses, very expensive vet bills, very expensive medication, and of course his routine food. Outside of dog categories, I would say probably the last year has been spending money on myself, my fun categories. That is not something that I did very frequently early on. I never really prioritized myself and doing fun things. So, yeah, those are probably my top three. Um, you know, every every season is different, and so um, what my most spent categories now may not be that in 2 or 3 weeks, or let alone 2 or 3 months. So it's always evolving, and that's the great thing about the flexibility of YNAB. It makes it very easy to roll with the punches. Number 7, what is your most unusual or unexpected category? I struggled with finding an answer for this one because if you've watched a lot of my videos, my budget is pretty bare bones. It's very basic. I am a minimalist. I live alone. Um, I mean, alone in the sense that there's no other humans with me. I've obviously lived with a dog for the last 11 years. And so uh, I don't have very many unusual or unexpected categories. So the best answer I can give for this is probably my storage unit. It's unusual for the simple fact that about half of my stuff has been in storage since 2022 in Oregon, and I've lived in Arizona outside of the calendar year of 2022. I've lived in Arizona for uh, 10 years, and so the last 4 years or so, half of my stuff has been up in Oregon. I have not really had the money to make a trip to move that stuff down, and also I haven't really needed anything that's stored in my storage unit, and so I just haven't really done a trip up there to get the rest of my stuff. So I think that's probably the most unusual, not category name, but just unusual situation that most people don't find themselves in. Number 8, which of the 5 YNAB rules is your favorite and why? I'm going to cheat a little bit. I have two, and they kind of piggyback off of each other. They're very related to each other, and so that's why I'm going to go with both. The reality question, which is what does this money need to do before I'm paid again? This was a very critical question for me in order to get a full understanding and grasp of my finances and getting away from the paycheck to paycheck cycle. And because I focus so heavily on that reality question, the resilience question, which is what can I set aside for next month's spending, really just fell into my lap as a consequence of the reality question. I didn't try very hard to get a month ahead. It just sort of happened through the mechanisms of YNAB. And so I'm very grateful for how YNAB operates and making it very easy to, without thinking, get more and more breathing room so that you're not as worried about finances as you were, I guess, prior to starting YNAB. So those are the two rules that are my favorite, simply because they made YNAB super simple and changed how I view finances probably forever. Number 9, are you a month ahead? And if so, by how much? Until recently, I was a month ahead, only one month ahead. I didn't focus on extending beyond that. I used any excess money to set aside money for my lifestyle or my savings goals. Due to recent events in my life, I am almost a year ahead in terms of my savings. And so um, that is going to be very critical for me moving forward. And so, yes, I'm a month ahead, but I'm also almost 12 months ahead. So, and question number 10 is what's currently on your wish farm? My wish farm has, like I said, 5 items. I haven't really paid too much attention to my wish farm in a very long time, but I haven't completely forgotten about them either. I have a backyard canopy on here. So I live in Arizona. Summers are extremely brutal. We're, reaching consistent temps over 100. This, entire week has been 110 or higher. And my backyard, my secluded backyard or private backyard faces the west. And so almost most of the day, it's getting direct sunlight as the sun is traversing to sunset, which means the backyard is extremely hot. The surfaces, the turf, the rocks, and the patio are extremely hot. And so, backyard canopy would just help kind of alleviate the temperatures and make it a little bit more of a safe space to just go hang out because there's shade. Desk, computer monitors, network storage, and home theater. These are all, technology things that I had put on this wish list when I was in my technology era. As of the last couple months, I haven't really focused too much on technology, but I would like to get a computer desk. I am still rocking a foldable Walmart, $20 foldable plastic table, which is, done great. Number 11, what is your most ambitious savings goal right now? My most ambitious savings goal right now is just preserving what I have in savings to last as long as possible. So yeah, my most ambitious savings goal is just don't blow through my money very quickly. So preservation, I think, is my most ambitious savings goal right now. Number 12, what is your age of money? My age of money is 119 days. When I first started YNAB, it was something that I paid attention to very closely, not only because it was on the main page for a while, but also because it seemed like a very cool metric to me to know, how long it's going to take before I spend the money that I just got. I have, over the last, I don't know, year or so, I have really not focused too much on this number. It's a metric that to me doesn't have the new car smell, so to speak, anymore. But my age of money currently is 119, and I anticipate that number increasing before it decreases again. But yeah, just not something I pay attention to. And I mean, I think that's the general consensus with the YNAB community out there. It's not really a metric that a lot of people pay attention to, which I think is probably why it was moved from the main page to the reflect page. And number 12, or I'm sorry, number 13 is who do I tag? So I'm going to tag 2 people. A lot of people have been tagging 3. Unfortunately, a lot of or I guess fortunately, however you look at it, a lot of the channels that I would have tagged have already been tagged in the videos that I've seen of this trend. And so there are 2 channels that I'm going to tag, and they are Mia from Scrubs and Savings and Zero Based Budget Girl. So those are the 2 channels that I am going to tag. Sorry if you have been tagged already, but from the videos that I've seen of this trend, I didn't see that you guys were tagged. And so here's your chance to continue the trend. So thank you for those who have stuck by my channel. I promise I will be back. It's up in the air as to when I will be making content again. But until next time, have fun.